Okay, let's talk about what Diablo 4 gets right. The look of the environment. My God, the worlds that the developers from Diablo created. If you look around, this looks amazing. I love the design of Diablo 4. I love how the enemies look. The bad thing is you have a lot of generic enemies that just keep popping up and popping up. But besides that, the world, the look of the world. If Diablo gets something right, it's just the lore. Diablo lore is peak. The Diablo lore, if you do not know the Diablo lore, you should probably check out Riker's channel. He has a whole breakdown of the lore. But look at the character. I love the cosmetics. Diablo gets the cosmetics right. Now, are they cheap? No, the cosmetics are not cheap. But do they look epic? Yes. Here I live my fantasy of going to the underworld or hell. I get that fantasy of being an angel or angelic being, going into hell and just destroying absolutely all the demons. And as you can see right here in Diablo, as long as you follow a build, like especially the top 3 meta builds, you'll be so OP. Diablo really fulfills that power fantasy. If you have a power fantasy that you want, dude, Diablo completely fulfills the power fantasy. Like, dude, you're an angel in hell fighting demons and you're so OP, the enemy just melts before you even get to see them. Which is a good thing and a bad thing, because as it fulfills that power fantasy, you also really don't ever really see the enemy. You barely see the enemy. Everything on the screen is kind of a flash that just disappears. The dodge button is just, for example, right here, my dodge button teleports me in a lightning form. It's not a tactical use at all. It's just to get around faster. That's it. There's no tactic to teleporting. Maybe sometimes you teleport to get out of some random explosion like that, but not really. You understand? You really use it as a mobility thing. And everything on the screen just destroys, loot pops out everywhere. You really get that feeling that you're so powerful. I don't really care. I have a shield on me. My attacks, my lightning literally is auto aim. They kill the enemy by themselves. I don't even gotta do much besides live my power fantasy. That's all I have to do. Just walk around as a god, walking around amongst demons. Diablo and Path of Exiles may look the same, but they're not the same at all. These are not the same games at all. They have a completely different feel to them. As you can see in PoE, you have to really, every enemy walks up to you slowly. And you feel the menacing, like your life is in danger. You really gotta think about what you're doing. You really gotta use your skills strategically. And your build really matters. As a matter of fact, playing PoE, I never looked for a meta build. I just did my own thing and it worked. And I really like that about PoE. I really like that I could just make my thing up and you gain the power. It gives you the freedom to create whatever you want and use any weapon you want. I really love that. But as you can see, PoE has a dodge roll. PoE over there, the dodge is basically just a mobility thing. But in PoE, your dodge really matters. You have to use it strategically. Every monster feels like your life is in danger. Okay? Every single monster that comes at you, except the grunt monsters like these little ones, but every single monster is menacing. Your life is in danger constantly. You feel the heaviness of the game. You really feel the threat. Now, thank God I love my build. I have a fire grenade build right here, and I absolutely love how it came out. But still, as you can see the difference between this and Diablo, you're not gliding around, not even looking at the enemy because they melt before you even see their design. Over here, you see every enemy. Every enemy is walking up to you, bro. You really get time to embrace the world and feel the threat upon your person. You really gotta think about strategy, how you're gonna get around, how you're gonna kill this enemy. There's enemies with shields that when you attack them, they shoot back at you, and you gotta somehow get through that and attack behind them. There's so many, that's the difference. And the character feels heavy. You feel like you have an armor. If you're a gamer, you know how the game feels makes a difference. Now, when you're playing Diablo, you glide around. It's like you just super fast. Over here, you have this heaviness. It's almost like they say. It's almost feels like Souls-like. You feel heavy. You dodge heavy and slow. Everything is slow and methodical. You have to really position yourself to get things done. It's more of a game where you really got to think about everything you do, how you move in the map, how you approach things, how your attacks work. And there's a lot of freedom to that, and you could make it work no matter what. And I absolutely love that. It feels completely different. It looks very much the same, but it feels so much different. And like I said, Diablo fulfills that power fantasy. You don't really gotta think about anything in Diablo. It's just so casual friendly. And that's the thing about it. It's a good thing and a bad thing, because you barely have a chance to see the enemies. You're just going around and the enemies just disappear. And you really don't get to experience the world they made. It's so amazing. It's such an amazing looking world, and their lore, it's so great. The thing about the Diablo 4 story is that they really ruined it, especially with that character Nyrel. Oh my god, they ruined the Diablo story, but the Diablo lore is peak. So Diablo, it's an amazing game that really fulfills that power fantasy. And you really feel overpowered against the demon hordes of hell. And I love that. I love that feeling of OP. I absolutely love that. But you are missing a lot because everything is chaos on the screen. Everything is just chaos on the screen. You really missed out on what the hell is going on. And a lot of those times, there's mechanics that show up out of nowhere and just kill you for no reason. And that's probably one of the worst things in Diablo, because everything is such a mess in the screen. So when you die to one of these mechanics out of nowhere, when you're so overpowered and everything seems fine, and you just die in one hit out of nowhere, it feels like BS. It really does. On the other hand, when you're playing PoE, it feels like if you make a mistake, you actually are punished for making those mistakes. And you feel like it's in your hands, not some random BS that's gonna show up and unalive you. No, you actually feel like there's skill and thought into everything you do. The enemies walk up to you menacingly. You have time to see the enemies. You have time to look at the world. You don't have to stop, because every moment takes a bit. So you really take in the environment. You really take in the enemy. And it feels good. As a game, it feels good. This is not a casual gamer game. This is a game for people who want to really get invested in a good game with good mechanics. Like, you play Path of Exile because of the game. How the game feels, how the mechanics work, and the story, on the other hand, it's super good. The story in PoE 2, it's peak. I love the story. I love everything about PoE when it has to do everything with the story, gameplay mechanics, and everything that has to do with that and in between. They just get it right, bro. And this is a game for people that actually want to invest their time, and they don't just want to glide through a game and that's it and just throw it to the side. This is a true game where skill is required and you actually feel it as you play. The other thing is how it feels to fight a boss. Boss battles in each game feel completely different. It's like I say, just because they look the same doesn't mean they feel the same. And gamers get this, okay? It's like playing a game that a shooter, a first person shooter that has jank, and a first person shooter that feels smooth and feels really good to shoot and aim. Bro, this is a boss battle in Diablo. It has this over the top billion things going on at the same time. That's what this is a boss battle in Diablo 4, okay? You feel powerful. You go around destroying everything. Everything is it's like a bullet hell. There's projectiles flying everywhere, enemies, effects. There's all types of things happening, but you're alive and you are destroying everything. You might not see what you're destroying, but everything is getting destroyed. You do see the boss life going down. You just embrace the chaos and you embrace that you're OP. And it feels good. I can't lie. It feels good. It gives you a good feeling. But what the hell is going on? That's a different story. Okay? You get a sense of what's going on if you're paying attention and you're locked in. But still, there's so much that you don't even know what's going on. There's so much. You're just paying attention to the things that glow the most. And this is pretty much Diablo in general. This is how the Diablo feel is. Comparing to Path of Exile 2, when you actually go to a boss fight, you are required to have skill. You are required to think about what's going on. You gotta position yourself strategically, and mistakes will happen, and you will pay for your mistakes. When you're fighting a boss, you literally feel like you're playing a game and you're fighting a boss. And there's consequences if you don't think about what you're doing. This is a real boss battle, and that's the difference. You really feel different. It feels like a different game completely. The boss battles feel engaging and deep, and you really have to work for it. You really have to think about what you're doing. Use your skills correctly. Avoid all the things that will destroy you. Bro, you really gotta work for it. And every boss battle feels like an amazing challenge, and when you get through that challenge after so many tries, it feels so satisfying. And I absolutely love that about Path of Exile 2, bro. It gives you, I feel a lot more rewarded when I achieve things in Path of Exile 2. Especially boss battles. And when you feel strong, it really matters, bro. It feels achieving to do all this. I put a great deal of importance on how my character looks. Path of Exile doesn't really give you the freedom to create your character, not like Diablo 4 that they let you kind of create your character, and you could do really good with that. The cosmetic looks in PoE 2, as you can see, it's very grounded in reality. At least a lot of them are very grounded in reality, and they look cool. Don't get me wrong, they look really cool, but they're not necessarily awesome in the way that they have these. They could be so much better, in my opinion. They could literally look really, really cool. Obviously, look, this would be considered a peak cosmetic, but at the same time, there's something weird that I don't like about it. I can't quite place my finger on it. Is it the shoulder pads? Is it how chunky it looks? I'm not even sure, but I do not love the cosmetics in PoE 2. Like, I only got the pre-order cosmetic, which is the one that I have on right now, and I think it looks peak. And besides that, I don't think I need anything else because nothing else really calls my attention. Another thing is that PoE has a lot of effects cosmetics, as you can see right here. And I think it just it takes away from the details of the character. It just takes away, bro. I don't know. It feels very mobile game-like when they add these type of things into the game. Now, when you go to Diablo and you check out the cosmetics in Diablo, bro, the cosmetics are so peak and they match the vibe of the game. The crazy thing is you could get really close to the characters, and the amount of detail in the armors, the amount, dude, it's very hard for me to hate any armor in Diablo. All the armors look so peak, bro. Not only they give you the ability to create your characters, but then they have this amazing, if they get anything right, as I say again, it's the way the game looks. And the cosmetics in Diablo feel so amazing, bro. Like, it's very hard to not feel like a badass when you're playing Diablo, bro. Like, the way the characters end up looking, the cosmetic designs, bro, it's peak. Cosmetics in Diablo are hell of expensive, but my god, they are so well designed. You get what you want. You want to look like an amazing over the top. Look at this, bro. It looks so amazing. The crazy thing about Diablo is that the camera is so far away. You don't even get to enjoy how your character looks to its full extent. Okay? But my god, they really go into detail. Look at this. This is a skin for a character. You can literally get close up and see how much detail and how cool the character looks. You got even horses with cosmetics that for the horses. So hopefully my point of the games not being the same came across, because by now you should understand that these games look the same, but they don't play the same, they don't act the same, they don't feel the same at all. Diablo and Path of Exile are two completely different beasts. One final thing I want to mention here at the end is the difference between the worlds. As you can see right here, Diablo 4 has mounts, and you run into players in the world. There's even world bosses. The difference between Path of Exile is that every area in Path of Exile is confined within its own instant. And the only way you see other players is if you go to towns. And you don't run into them in the world unless you're in a party with them and they go with you. So that's a big difference there, because Diablo 4 really gives you that MMO, like massive multiplayer online feel. Now I do gotta say, it's really appealing to actually go and fight a world boss. You only find this in Diablo. You fight world bosses, and everybody contributes to fighting the world boss. The world boss is probably one of the only bosses that actually feels like a boss in Diablo. I did want to mention that. I ain't even gonna lie, it's really cool to run on a horse and show off your cosmetics. That has to do a lot too. You buy cosmetics, you want to show them off, and the fact that you have a mount and you run around the world actually makes a difference.